Sploosh. Howdy, everybody. Welcome. Early a few minutes? That's fine. Wrestling history lore. Interesting. Not much for a wrestling thing. I tried to get into wrestling, like, as a kid. I couldn't be bothered. Alright, come on. There we are. Whoa. Ooh. Okay, I'm detecting some hanging up. Like, little frame rate dips here or there, but... Yeah, that's right. The last time I played Hightail, I had my old card. I might need to try the old graphics card again. See if that does it or not. I don't know. I hope that card is fine. Oh man, I think I was told a fib. I don't think the card that I was given was indeed better than what I had, or, you know, a side grade even. Oh well. So, what's new? I know it's only been a day or so, but yeah. Most people just default to it's fake. Yeah, it is fake, but like there's story to it still, right? Just because it's quote not real doesn't mean there isn't a story. Doesn't mean people aren't attempting to do something. Wrestling's about heroes and villains and shit, right? That right there is the essence of storytelling. So, I mean, if anything, they're doing it correctly. Okay, well, it's still mostly stable. So there's that, I suppose. Yeah, I'm definitely at some point going to try the old graphics card. See if it functions any better or worse. Because I suspect the graphics card was actually probably fine, because most of the water was on the top of it. And the top part had this plastic metal-ish looking shield. So, I don't know. We'll see. Oh, right. Yeah, I hate the dark. In 4 minutes, I can sleep. Hi, Meg. Why do you use Internet Explorer? I don't get it. I don't use Internet Explorer. Oh. Yeah, I know. I loved that that thing that Poncho made. That was so funny. Wow. Here we go. So, for those of you who don't know, there was this... It's an old clip of Terry Davis, naturally. And Poncho was trying to act out that with me. I don't know how many years ago this was now. It was a long time ago. And he was trying to get me to, like, go along with the Internet Explorer joke. Because there's apparently a Terry Davis bit or something. And you know how the schizophrenic types love to worship Terry Davis. And basically it was one of these really silly, stilted kind of exchanges. And I forget when they tried this, but they tried it on me. And I just wouldn't, like, go for it. You know, I wouldn't respond the way that I was supposed to. You know, because I'm a thinking, normal, you know, functioning individual. I don't think about, you know, I'm not trying to comport to an archetype or, you know, be in lockstep with some sort of, you know, this, that, the other. Like, what I think for myself, in other words. I try to. And yeah, like, I just the whole Internet Explorer, you know, what do you use Internet Explorer for? You use it to download Firefox, right? And this entire exchange was just, like, so fucking corny. And I was just giving all the wrong answers, apparently. This was something that Poncho had asked me live on stream. And I was just like, nah, I don't do that anymore. I haven't used Firefox in ages now. And I haven't. I stopped using Firefox a long time ago. So I don't use Internet Explorer to download Firefox. Like, I use Internet Explorer to download Brave browser. Because it's better. And I just... Yeah, the whole exchange was just so fucking funny. Most modern wrestling isn't any good. WWE is just Megacorp squeezing ad rev. Okay. Yeah, fair. Fair enough. Everything has declined. Humanity has declined. The arts have declined. The very idea of content. You know, everything is content now. Have you noticed that? I kind of hate that word now. Everything is content. You will own nothing and consume content. And I'm already halfway toward that end. You will own content and consume nothing. Wait a minute, that's not profitable. Oy vey, you have to consume content, Goyim. It's anti-Semitic not to consume our content. Oh, but anyway, yeah, so, funny jokes and shit aside from whatever that attempt was to, make the joke, to make this bit work in real time. In all honesty, yeah, Mike showed it to me earlier. This bit was like fucking so stupid. And yet it works so well with my replies. Like, I don't know what it is about that. Why should my replies work so well? It's like the comedic timing is just fucking on point. And it isn't even because I was like trying to be funny. I was just answering seriously. Because most of the time I'm trying to, you know, do something and I'm trying to be serious. Poncho's editing so you're on the receiving end of the party line is hysterical as fuck. Oh God, is it ever. Like, I should, if that hasn't, I think that's been posted. I'm going to repost it later. Like, in Discord. Actually, no, I'm going to fucking post it now. I got to find it. Hold on. Oh, God. Jack Firefox. Here we go. 9 meg. Perfect. Just under the limit. There we go. It's in the announcements channel of the Discord. Give it some amount of time to upload. So yeah, like that shit was great. That shit was so funny. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Nuh-uh, Jack. I will make the content reel to real magnetic tape. What? And be the only person to own those juicy guitar solos. Take that, Dad. Okay. Oh God. Okay. I just suddenly realized my microphone cord is pinned under my monitor. I hope that did it. It did not. Son of a bitch. There we go. Got it. Okay. That was why there was no slack to the cable for my microphone. Whew. All right. Problem solved. I didn't even realize I've made that problem for myself yet. Anyway. What are you gonna do with your roof reel? Reel-to-reel collection is huge and I own it all. When my roof reel-to-reel collection. What? Roof? What do you mean roof? I have no idea what the fuck roof has to do with anything. Did autocorrect strike there and you didn't mean to type the word roof? Because roof is fucking me up. What does that mean? Like, I swear, you guys cannot type cohesive sentences sometimes. Buy some. Someone's gonna have to steal some tapes from my closet first before they'll be for sale. Okay. You know you're a music hoarder. So in other words, you're gonna have music that's like up to your roof? I don't know. That doesn't make sense, but okay. Okay. 7, 8. Is that about the right size? I think that's about the right size. If I never started a psychedelic band, I'm going to call it Roof. Oh. Sure. Okay. Yeah, I was just supposed to know that, I guess. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Perfect. Oh well. Roof is a heavy hard rock band. Yeah, I could not have known that. Like, you would have had to have told me that in advance. And if you had, sorry, but that's not important enough information to bother remembering. I'm not gonna lie, man. I don't have enough brain power to store info about stuff like that. No offense. Thought you knew? No. And again, even if you told me, I would not have retained that information. There we go. Why the fuck are goblins raining from the sky? Oh. Did he despawn? Or are they actually... No, they're right there. They're unironically there. They just despawn, however. And then they get back. Are they like... Huh? I don't understand. Please understand. There we go. Okay, yeah, I am definitely... Like, the music is stuttering, and that didn't used to happen. Whoa. Oh, well. Anyway, Mike has never told you about it. I'm sure he did, and again, I would not have retained that. Oh, son of a bitch. Okay, you. Whoa. Please don't suddenly cripple my PC. It just got a new motherboard and it just got a new graphics card, which I'm beginning to regret getting. I don't know. Had $1 million idea. A game that's Minecraft, but Doom. Huh? How is that? I don't understand. How is that $1 million idea? You could make Doom in Minecraft and it'd be the exact same. Okay. Slash. Oh, wow. 2,340 blocks, yeah. Damn. Huh? What are these light particles just... Oh, that must have been shit from the Quebec forest or Quebec civilization, whatever. Picked Roof Iris because I go to the search bar and plus let's visit the world of the future and just watch until you talk about the earth being covered in 30 feet of cement. Oh, right. Yeah. I do vaguely remember that now that you mention it, Mike. Like, the whole world was roofed over or some shit, which is a fucking retarded idea, but whatever. Hey, it's a little more responsive. I won't lie. Maybe they optimized how it eats everything away. Bam. Clear. Hell yeah. Oh, that's so cool. Oh, well, looks like all the Quebecs are going to fall into the void. Queerbeck. Seriously, as cute as they are, I've just kind of come to be annoyed by the Quebecs. I wish to evict them permanently from my land. Damn. Okay, I think that's good enough for now. I always wanted to push the boundaries of this void space. There's a lot of like bits of junk here and there that's hanging out, but you know. Yeah, I've seen that video, I think. Pure genius. It's a silly, obscure art documentary from the 70s, not a physics documentary. I realize. I realize it is not realistic. But I'm sorry, ideas like that, like the whole Earth has been domed over in 30 feet of cement, because I don't know. That just is stupid. I'm sorry. You need to have a justification for something like that. Why does it say there are things here when there are not things here? There are no leaves that I need to clear. I mean, I guess I should clear this. Apart from that. Yeah, no, I don't buy it. I'm sorry. Like 30 feet of concrete over the entire world, that just destroys my suspension of disbelief. Like, gotta get better at it than that, man. If you want me to actually care about your film or your concept or whatever, like, you gotta properly suspend my disbelief, not make some stupid ass thing and expect me to just believe that it's real within the given setting. Never really played Hightail. Okay. Just made a house and played with a friend. Yeah. It's good enough for that, I guess. Okay. Let's chip away this chunk here. My number one issue right now is that I don't have much of an incentive to play what they call adventure mode. Or no, not adventure mode. It's exploration mode, which is in essence survival mode. I'm lacking any real incentive to play that mode because I don't have, well, I just don't have any, like, there's no new progression, basically. They are focusing on, like, polishing things and getting some quality of life stuff in there, and that's all well and good, and I want that. I want them to do that. They have to focus on that stuff one way or the other. I'm just saying, as far as exploration slash, it's really survival mode. As far as survival is concerned, I don't give a shit. I'm happy they've added and changed and altered whatever, but just don't really find a reason to care right now. So I build, and I create, and I have fun. And there are a lot of goblins raining from the skies. Although I get the feeling, because they all continually seem to fall in the same locations, get the feeling that even though this guy is technically here, their positions will like reset somewhere to up here. I don't know, somewhere like down in the cave layer. And it'll be like, you know, I should be up there, but there's nothing up there to support me, so I'm going to fall down here. It's odd. It's just odd. Now, I will say, this is beginning to get really, really exciting. I've been keeping an eye on it for the past week. They're talking about adding cubic chunks. Okay, that there, 8, perfect. Yeah, they're gonna add a cubic chunks style world generation system, so we may have infinite height and depth now, possibly. Reasonable, within reason. Height and depth of great magnitude. And I personally can't wait. Like, height and depth of absurd proportions, sign me up. And just have that be the default. Like, yeah, from now on, the world will generate at a certain Y level, and then it'll just go up. Some areas can be absurdly large. You can make a big-ass tower if you want. All the fun things. Yeah, sign me up. I'll take that. I don't know. We'll see. When I told the whole roof bit from the video goes on, there's a shot of a really psychedelic looking carving into the cement that says roof. I'd like to steal it as a logo and stuff. Okay. With being a real drawing from the 70s and the way it dresses in Paisleys and all psych rock. Okay. I mean, yeah, it could definitely make a comeback. You could be onto something there, Mike. I don't want to like poo-poo you and say, no, that's a bad idea, don't do it. I'm more of a, yeah, no, I filed that away in information I won't ever make use of. But I'll remember it now, because it's obviously very important to you. I only remember this stuff because you've mentioned it. You've given me enough of a descriptor for me to go on, so I recall now. But yeah, no, it's definitely interesting. Shite. No! Get there. Get there. Okay. Oh, yeah, I'm stupid. I'm so stupid. I'm so very stupid. Why did I not think to do this before? Set. Oh, wow, they've changed it. Oh, yes, they've changed it. Okay. Yeah, rock. Slate, brick, smooth? That is not the right block. It is rock, slate, brick. Okay. Undo? Hell yeah. Okay, rock, slate, brick. Just rock, slate, brick. Hell yeah. I really should just be doing this. What? Eh? Uh-oh. There we go. I gotta stop being stupid about this. Or rather, I gotta stop being, like, unwilling to use the tools at hand, I suppose, is a way to put it. Wait, did I just hear something squeak like a mouse? Do we have mice in here? Surely not. Surely no mice are in my domain. Huh. Okay. Well, it's already beginning to look really cool. So I like that. What did I do? Okay, I did do this lantern. Did the chain. What is this? Deco iron chain small. Okay. I want to just put that there. Set deco iron chain small. Perfect. Okay. Yeah, they've made it infinitely easier to choose your style of, Whoa. Alright, you motherfucker, go down. Anyway, they've made it infinitely easier to find your style of block and just go from there. Really cool idea. Oh yeah, and also they added a functionality last week sometime. They basically started asking the community to see what sorts of suggestions they'd be willing to, add. Who wants what? And so I put stairs, slabs, and walls because everybody else had already beaten me to the punch to add sideways stairs. Otherwise, that was going to be my... because I think you're only allowed one suggestion or something like that. And so my one was going to be that, sideways stairs. Because we already got sideways beams, we already got sideways slabs, but we don't yet have sideways stairs. And then everybody else was, like 5 other people were like, yeah, sideways stairs, please. So I got beaten to the punch on that one. But I know for a fact I was not beaten to the punch on the material, beam, wall, slab, stair, ornate variants of every material. Yes, ornate dirt. Yes, ornate gravel. Yes, ornate stone. Regular ass plain Jane stone. But ornate. And thus, we'll see if it ends up ever actually being put into the game or not, but hey, suppose there's a chance. Boop. Okay, let us move that shit that way. Perfect. Oh my god, I am learning. Do they have a smooth? What is this? It's slate. Have they done the do whatever and given me a smooth slate stair? Rock slate stairs, okay. Cobble slate, wait. Rock slate half. Okay. We got brick stairs. We got slate stairs. No smooth stair? I don't know if this was here last time. Slate half slabs. These are just regular. So that's slate gravel. Slate smooth. Slate. Or no, that's slate cobble. My bad. Cracked slate. Slate brick. Regular slate. Okay. Yeah, like this is the kind of stuff that I want. I want there to be slopes and roof bits as well for every material. Yes, a dirt roof, gravel roof. Like, yes, I do want these things. Cracked slate trap. What do you mean a trap? How is it a trap? Oh, it's a trap. It's a trap. In the sense that it doesn't Hey? You have to be in survival? Yeah! There we go! Interesting. Okay. So in creative mode, you don't trigger that. Okay. Now I have seen... Whoops. Excuse me. I have seen these before. I haven't really paid any attention to it, but now this makes sense. So we have a crumble trap. Interesting. That's something Minecraft could make use of. A crumble block that falls like, a kind of trapdoor that when walked upon gives way because of the player being on top of it. Gold trapdoor. Or no, gold is dense. Diamond might be too expensive. Some kind of trapdoor. Oh wow, yeah, you really fall through that. Wow. Yeah. Okay, yeah, if you bump up against it like Mario, you still end up getting... It still ends up breaking. Oh wow, I can't even grab onto the edge. It'll give way under me. Yeah, you touch it and it falls to pieces. Oh, but I can break it by hand? Oh, it drops slate. I see now. Interesting. That's weird, but okay. Huh. Neat. Slate brick stairs. Let's try regular slate. Also, let's sleep so that it is no longer the time of nighting. In 25 minutes. Fuck you. Bless me. Thank you, guys. I feel blessed. I'm so blessed to have you guys blessing me here. Blessed be thee to thee. I don't know. I'm just talking out of my ass. But thank you guys for showing that kind of concern. Yeah, it's so much nicer under here than it is up there. Fuck. Remind you of those fake dungeon brick from Terraria. Yeah, the crumbly dungeon brick in Terraria was a... it was an interesting addition way back in the day when that first got added. It's a nice trap. I like it. It's a cool idea. All right, you father mucker. Sleep. Finally. Yeah, it's not other ages, though. Like Indiana Jones, Goonies type shit? Yes. Drip leaf. I don't know. I feel like you could engineer a block, you know? Like, you can have your regular version of it's some kind of trapdoor. And then you can have the not so supportive version, I guess is a way to put it, right? Like the danger type or the dangerous kind. Dangerous trapdoors. These are the kind that give way when a player's on top of them. Very much like a drip leaf. Yeah. You got like 4 seconds, 3 seconds, whatever, before it goes right under you. That would be cool. I wonder if Mojang's ever been, ever been asked to consider it. Consider the following. Honestly, yeah, a kind of trapdoor you can rig up with redstone and also will just inherently crumble, or maybe not crumble, collapse is a better word for it, under the player's weight. That's interesting. That gives me variables to play with. You know, I can make it to where, under certain circumstances, the pressure plate, or not the trapdoor is passable, and you don't have to worry about your weight collapsing it. Under other circumstances, your weight will collapse it beyond repair. Something like that. I mean, you could already make the argument that you can do that with trapdoors in Minecraft. You could just flick them on and flick them off and be like, yeah, this area is impassable now. feel like with timing, though, with like the skulk sensor and good timing, listening for the player footsteps, you're probably going to be able to just pull off the exact same effect. But then again, I don't know. I still feel like that's a really cool addition to be made. Let's see. Oh, in other news, the kittens seem to be doing okay, but they're sniffling a bit. I'm taking them tomorrow to the vet. Hopefully that goes well. Also, this style of stair, it's not bad. It's just not great. Yeah, I knew I would need to use these a bunch to see if I really liked them or not, and I kind of don't. I'll use that for something else. But anyway, the kittens are, as far as I can tell, they're feeding. You know, they're healthy-ish. They're not, like, super healthy, because as I said, I think they're getting an infection of some kind. So I'm going to see about that. They all have their eyes open now, barring the one whose eyes will never be open again. Well, actually, that one never got to the stage where it could have opened its eyes. But it did mostly, you know, okay. The rest are seemingly okay. I'm going to go check on them in about 20, 30 minutes. So, shorter stream tonight. I'm going to feed her. Her name, as it turns out, is Daisy. That's what the owner told me. She lives about 3-4 houses down, around the corner from me. And she's a very nice lady. She said she'll get Daisy fixed. So hopefully that happens. Daisy doesn't show back up here pregnant again. Because don't you know, if she gets pregnant a second time, she will come here. She knows she can get food from us. She's a sweet cat. But like, eef. Don't want to be responsible for yet more kittens. I'm going to try to get them up for adoption when they're ready. So that'll be in, I don't know, a month or so. And yeah, that'll be hopefully an effective tactic. And I'm gonna turn Daisy over to her owner and say, hey, get her fixed. Please. Apart from that, hopefully Daisy will still continue to let me approach her and like and love on her and stuff. She's speaking of cats, Daisy is exceptionally protective. You know, she's a new mother, so I don't blame her. But everything seems to be going decent. I'm just hoping the kittens are feeding the way they should be. Because now I'm worried. I'm thinking I will, I should have done this. I didn't think I needed to, but I should have done this. I should have bought a thing of kitten milk. It's not even like $7. Like, I really just should have fucking done that already. And just had some on hand on the off chance those kittens are not getting fed. Because that one kitten who died yesterday, I suspect they couldn't eat because they couldn't smell. And so I think if I had hand fed it, it would have been okay. Shut up. Anyway, kittens get better. I think they will be. Especially after the vet visit, I think they'll be fine. Just some small antibiotics. And, you know. They're warm enough as far as I can tell. It's been a little cooler here lately. We've just been having some slightly cool weather. It's been getting down into the 40s at night. They seem to be adjusting otherwise. They are crawling around. So I'm hoping they won't. As long as Mama's nearby, I'm hoping they won't try to crawl outside the safety of the box. Or it's not a box, it's an igloo. But hopefully they won't crawl outside the safety of the igloo. Wow. Wow. Help me. Love me. Pay attention to me. Flowers under sand trick. Different pressure lengths would be cool. Ooh, yeah. Holy shit. Pressure plates that actuate for like the briefest of a second. That is actually a fire idea. Whoa. Dude, Stone Cold Killer, you should make a game. A block simulator and call it Minecraft. You do a better job than Microcock ever would. What the fuck? Oh, it's a bomb goblin. That's why. Okay, I know those guys juggle every now and then. I was like, what mob in Hightail juggles? Yeah, it's a goblin. A goblin Bakudanist. Okay. Hold on one. Okay, I'm back. Remember when I had kittens as a kid, it wouldn't open its eyes. Eventually, Mom had to open its eyes. The amount of pus that came out. Okay, that had a long, nice life later. Okay, phew. God damn. It must have just been sick. I know kittens snuggle and nuzzle up to one another to save, body heat and stuff. And that's a problem because disease can spread very, very easily among small little animals like that. But a kitten, especially since these are still basically newborns, their immune system's non-existent. Like, they are so reliant on mama, it hurts. And so something that mama's immune system would cover no problem, they're not really, I don't know that they're getting everything they should be. So I'm gonna do what I can. Come on. Here we go. Bada bing. Bought a platform. Okay, so what I want to do, let me get an arbitrary amount of blocks inside. So 4 on that one, 2, 3, 4 on this one, which leaves us a berth of about 5. That's pretty decent, I'd say. So what I want to do is I still want this to be Space Valk-esque, going up. But I want to, because Hightail has chains that are actually really cool. Oh, I can get rid of the trap. Because these chains exist, I want to make use of them. So, to that end, I'm gonna make a platform between, actually, yeah, that's not going to go on its side, but this will. Yeah. So I kind of want, I don't know, like that long. Oh. Chain small. Vertical. No. Okay, so that's the thick ass chain. Never mind, I might need to just... Wait a minute. Okay, what are our options for chains? Yeah, it just says small. It doesn't mention... Also, I kind of want to use the larger chains as well. Yeah, it does not mention directionality. That's the word I was looking for. Even though they can clearly go directionality or directionally one way or the other. I don't know. Whatever. I'm gonna use the larger chain to adhere this platform to the bigger one. Like that. Yeah, I like that. And then maybe a larger chain here in the middle to kind of just act as an anchor point. Ah, damn it, this is not centered. Don't know, kitty gets sick or infection? Yeah, you don't know. Nothing. Those that can survive. If they survive, they reproduce. So there's more of them, and that's it. That's it. No mother brain. Okay. Why does nature nerf shit? Oh, I see now. I see. The best way to describe it, it isn't nerfing. It's nerfing it from our perspective because it's obviously not as functional, right? So you're asking, why does nature make stuff that's inferior, right? Why would nature willingly make an animal have this or that problem? It's partly a gambit, and partly it is adaptational. There are just some things that have evolved to take advantage of the habits of other creatures, right? How many parasites have you heard of that spread themselves through the feces of their host, right? That's taking advantage of something another animal does. In the case of weakness, you know, why are creatures evolved to be weak, right? I would argue it isn't weakness, at least not at first. It becomes weakness because it is genetically unviable, or what have you, right? Nature runs a gambit. It tries to hedge its bets any which way it can. And what that ends up bringing about many a time is a change that ends up not necessarily being a change for the better. Some things are just exceptionally prone to being changed. Some things are not prone to being changed. So for example, muscles. Your muscle structure is just not likely to be changed that much. These are conserved genes because they work. And if you fuck with these too badly, then the organism is unable to, live. But even then, on rare occasion, nature will take a gamble on something and alter its makeup anyway, basically. And so what we have is a chance for creatures to become inferior to, in this case, even their own litter mates. That's just kind of the way the cookie crumbles, sadly. Nature's always rolling the dice with every new individual, with every new genetic combination, with every new reproduction. Nature's always rolling the dice and trying to iterate on and change that creature just a little bit, just to make it a little bit better at surviving in its environment. And sometimes that works, but oftentimes it doesn't. It is a bit of a roll of the dice. And so the better, more formulated advantages, they went out. And the worse, not so well formulated advantages don't. And you don't see those hardly. There's something called survivorship bias. You don't hardly see the failures as often, or you don't pay attention to them as often. And so, yeah, it seems like nature self-sabotages. But in truth, nature's rolling all the dice it can and playing from every angle possible. And the angles that fail, fail. But if you're one of those lucky critters that, you know, didn't have a failure, then you get to survive and pass on your genes. Why do some people have heart cancer, which is a type of cancer you can only get in childhood? You cannot get heart cancer later on. Notice how you've likely never heard about heart cancer, or at least you've very, very infrequently heard about heart cancer. Why? Well, because heart cancer only affects those whose heart cells divided poorly in vitro. Or not, sorry, no, that's not it. It's in vivo, I think is the phrase? In the womb, basically. And then obviously there are some kinds of brain cancers that you will only get as a kid because you're born with it, because, you know, that's how the cookie crumbles. With humans, we're really good at noticing, ah, shit, that fucked up. Oh no, that poor kid has a bad life. Oh no, this thing's gonna, you know, kill this person if we don't do such and such. We can notice these things and take measures against them. But nature, because it's always rolling the die in every which way that it can, you will get those accidental mistakes that die out. And again, you may not notice them, but they're there. These are the sorts of mistakes that, you know, sometimes they kill the organism, the host in question, sometimes they don't. It just depends. It is what it is. It's really hard to hear that for some people, because some people want there to be, you know, a grand design to everything. And in truth, no, it's really just a luck of the draw kind of mechanism. Why are some people born ugly and some people are born pretty? Well, nature's always rolling the dice. Get what you get. I mean, it isn't that bad overall. But yeah, it can be kind of bad. Just depends. Okay, I'm going to use smooth bricks for the corners. Yeah, I like how that looks. The smooth brick is so nice. Smooth jazz. Okay, and then I gotta boop, 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 get all these covered, because these are, damn it, I wish I could do the slide on command. Gonna head out. Okay, take care, man. You haven't seen proof of evolution? Well, you're obviously not thinking about it, or you're not thinking hard enough to know what it is. It's pretty easy to identify. Okay, I'm gonna have to shorten these where I come to them. I think it's fine. I'm trying to like go left and right to prevent that. And all I'm doing is like double stacking. Hate that. Test? You having trouble? Switch to all messages. Yeah, I was unable to see new messages. Ooh. Weird. I hate how everything is just fucked behind the scenes, you know? Secretly, I think I'm shadow banned or some shit. Well, not shadow banned, but like I'm forcibly limited, shall we say. Genuinely annoying, honestly. What can you do? Man, this brings back so many memories of doing this shit on 2B2T. There we go. Okay, I think I'm getting the groove down for how to like drag build. I guess drag build is the right way to describe it. Oh, wait a minute. Huh, maybe that's not such an uh-oh after all. Maybe I should stack things like that. That looks pretty, actually. Yeah, I like that. Wait a minute. Folded corners are the way, truth, and light. YouTube muting? I think so, yeah. Think back on evolution and think we came from rocks. That's not how that works. Your understanding of evolution is fundamentally flawed. If that's your interpretation. Evolution is just the tiny genetic changes that have happened due to environmental stresses over however long a period you want to look at. And how those over time, those genetic, that genetic drift over time changes the members of that population to be unable to reproduce with the former members of the population they were formerly part of. In other words, they become a new species, or how we classify species, more or less. There are some caveats to this. For them to mate over and take over species is twisted. Primordial soup. It started in tide pools, we believe. It's hard to pin down right now, but we think lightning strikes and these easily. How do I put this? Tide pools that could easily evaporate and easily refill with water. That's what helped to kickstart the chemicals that eventually gave rise to life. It gave rise first to primitive RNAs, and RNA molecules are shockingly simple by comparison. And then from there, RNAs, of course, eventually became DNA, and then bacteria. And from there, the rest is history. Mind you, a lot of this process took millions and millions of years to get through. So it wasn't an overnight thing. Oh, well, so much for that. Put that down to like there. Perfect. I'm also going to use some brick smooth as a Maybe like a liner? Yeah, I think a liner block would be really neat. That would kick ass. Yeah, that'll work. Anyway. 14.7 billion years last I checked. They add more time with each major finding. Yes, because our perception and our understanding of the world increases. If the math checks out based on what we know now, great. But if new information comes to light, then, well, new information comes to light. So our math changes because our ability to grasp the truth of it is a little better. We have more evidence to go off of. I think that'll work. Can I sweep? I don't like dark. Damn it, 25 minutes. Weird shit will happen in periods of billions of years. 1,000 years is incomprehensible to us, let alone millions. Yeah. It's a lot. I would argue with the biosphere we currently have, not as much weird shit is allowed to happen now. But then again, you know, without the biosphere, the Earth would likely be a rock. Like an empty rock. So, who really knows? Certainly wouldn't be a nice place to look at. Once upon a time, the Earth was filled with noxious gases and poisonous oceans. And gradually the life of Earth changed that. So... Okay. For the love of God, let me sleep. Stupid night. Like when they found cells and shit? When they made the discovery of cells? Is that what you mean? I think all created and continued off each kind. Kind of? Like... How do I put this? Everything started with, you know, the first few single-celled lives, or life forms. I'm not sure what you're trying to say is the thing. Heard of this DNA type that is trackable that only changes through so many generations in humans and can be traced back to our bottleneck at the flood and before back to Eve. Oh, you're referring to, it's got like a special name. Is the name the type of DNA in a mother's egg cell? Haploid DNA? No, that can't be it. Mitochondrial DNA. That was it. Thank you. Yes, the mitochondrial DNA. Because the mitochondria was a freeloader. We suspect it was a parasite, but there's no way to know. It was far too long ago to really properly be able to say. And what happened was it got integrated into the makeup of our cells, and it became an incredibly beneficial thing to have, and so it... Well, not our cells, I mean animal cells in general. By our, I mean animal cells as a whole. Just so we're clear. Doesn't have nothing to do inherently with the start of life. Even the original life forms are somehow brought or created over billions of years. They would still evolve and diverge. Yeah. Thought that was it. I'm talking about recent info, not decades old. I have to send you it one day. Okay. Well. What exactly is this recent info about mitochondrial DNA? I've not heard of this type of DNA otherwise. Man, I can't wait until I'm up topside far high enough so that I don't have to listen to the... Die. Wow. Something is definitely going on with mob spawning. Trying to think of if there's a better, quicker way to do this. Like a fill command, like in Minecraft. The Minecraft fill command would make quick work of this. How does fill... What is this? Fill all air within your selection with a specified block type. Fill blocks. No. Fill signature. Oh, that's not it. Okay. Shit. I would kind of like a repeating iterative fill function of some kind. Supposed to track mutation rates in women, and it mutates way less than they expected. Or does way less, and if going with that tracks back to like 6500 to 7500 BC. Okay. That would still have to be mitochondrial DNA. Like, I can't... If it's in women, it has to be mitochondrial DNA. There isn't any other DNA type that... would be passed only exclusively through women because of the nature of the egg cell. As for why it would mutate at a much more infrequent ratio or rate, that's because mitochondria are so essential to how cells function. You absolutely cannot mess with their genes without running the risk of it dying. Mitochondrial disorders are very real and very, very dangerous. There's like no cure for any of them. If you get a mitochondrial DNA problem, or, well, you'd be born with it, obviously, but if you had a mitochondrial disorder, you probably wouldn't live. You probably wouldn't even be born, realistically. So it makes sense that the DNA in mitochondria is extremely carefully conserved. As for this one ancestor that it all funnels back to, I've heard about that before. That's a guess. We believe that's a singular individual, but it's also possibly a population in that time. It's really hard to say right now. We'll just need to look for more clues. Kind of because it sounded familiar. I almost typed it, didn't want to say it wrong. Okay. Because you know how we were told about junk DNA. What type is this, or was this? Junk DNA was often stated to be viral DNA that had been integrated into our genome over the many, many millennia. Because, you know, some viruses are more successful than others. And over time, much like how bacteria, because there are types of viruses called bacteriophages that feed on these, you know, bacteria species. Bacteria grew a trait or a mechanism of dealing with viral DNA we call CRISPR. And CRISPR is really, really robust DNA recognition machinery, I guess is the way to put it. It's molecular machinery. And it is so good at finding DNA sequences. And so over time, I suspect the human genome also had a sort of CRISPR variant, you know, a sort of attempt at our own version of CRISPR, because CRISPR is purely bacterial. And that humans evolved this mechanism. We probably still have it, though it takes a very long time for it to come about. But we eventually gain a rudimentary immunity to the DNA in commonly acquired viruses, and that this DNA gets permanently integrated into our genome, and over time it gets integrated at such a rate that you need some of the proteins in it expressed. I will say there is junk DNA in that this DNA doesn't seem to be actively expressed, or at least it's not expressed at a rate that seemingly makes sense or is seemingly useful. But I guarantee you we don't know enough about how intricate DNA expression is to be able to say for certain, yeah, these bits of your genes code for proteins that never get used. Like, I would hesitate very, very, very much to say that that is the case. I wouldn't be shocked if there are a lot of elements of your DNA that are infrequently used but are not junk. They are actually still valuable. They're just not common. That's really kind of the hubris of man, saying so-and-so DNA is junk DNA. I don't know about that one. It's easy to call it junk if you cannot readily notice its impact on human health. But the thing of it is, a lot of genes require the presence of other genes that are active. They just have to be turned on. They don't necessarily have to be doing anything. They just have to be turned on. And as a result, a lot of these genes that are essential for life, if they're not active, even though they're not actually being used, they're just turned on, but they're not expressing anything, then other things don't express things, and those other things are necessary and have to be expressing at a certain rate, otherwise you die or you start having problems. Like, that's why I don't buy junk DNA as a concept. It's a lot like that old misnomer of we only use 10% of our brains. That's bullshit. You use 100% of your brain. Because if that were the case, if using 10% of your brain was not, or was true, if that was real, then why is brain damage so easy to sustain? And any amount of brain damage is bad, right? If only 10% of your brain is used, then, you know, theoretically getting hit in the brain anywhere should have only a 10% chance of actually hurting you or causing lasting damage. But that's not how it works. Hey, Red Dalek, welcome. More studies show they have a purpose. Yeah, exactly. That is the hubris of man proclaiming a thing to not be useful, only to actually not understand it as fully as we'd like to. And then later on, some newer person comes behind them and goes, wait a second, no, actually this is used. That happens. Here we go. Like how that looks. Not gonna lie, this is perfect time for ExpressVPN. Nah. I do not shill. Let's put some ornate stuff there. And there. Better believe it'll go there. And plonk. Plonk. How you been, Red Dalek? There's some French guy who lives or lived his whole life with his head hollow. Jesus Christ, what? There has to be something more to that. I think that case sounds familiar. I want to say he had like a very, very small brain or something, and it was just enough to like function. I remember hearing about a chicken that had its head cut off and it survived for a while. Post-head cut off. I think it's where the brainstem is still enough, intact enough to be functional. Acquired savant syndrome? Oh, yeah. We used to think some of our organs didn't have a purpose. Yeah. We've been wrong before. We will be wrong again. Okay, I just suddenly looked at the time, and that means I gotta get going. I gotta take care of my cats. Oh, come on. There we go. I've got new kittens that I gotta worry about. So, I gotta tear myself away. I gotta stop trying to build. Okay, yeah, gotta get going, guys. Sorry. Y'all have a great evening. I will catch y'all tomorrow for, Minecart. Yeah. And, Friday, we'll see. We'll see about Friday. Take care, guys. Goodbye.